Buddha once said something that helped me stand up again in my most desperate moment. He said, "No one can save us, only ourselves." The first time I read this, I thought it was cruel. I was already so miserable, and you are telling me no one can save me. But later I understood, this isn't about despair, it is about strength. It is telling me that I don't need to wait for anyone. I have the ability to stand up on my own. My name is Hui Guang, and today I want to pass this strength on to you. Today I want to share 10 pieces of Buddhist wisdom with you. They help me climb out of rock bottom, help me find a kind of true strength. This strength isn't about gritting your teeth and pushing through. It is not about pretending everything's fine, but a quiet power that radiates from deep within, one that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Buddha said, "No one can save us, only ourselves. We must walk this path on our own." The first time I read this, I thought I was already so miserable, and you are telling me no one can save me. But later I understood, this isn't about despair. It is about strength. It is telling me that I don't need to wait for anyone to save me, because I have the ability to stand up on my own. If you are at a low point in your life right now, if you are looking for a kind of strength to help you stand up again, then stay. What comes next might change the way you see life. The first wisdom, accept impermanence, and you will fear nothing too. 1,500 years ago in India, there was a young mother named Kisa Gotami. Her only son suddenly fell ill and passed away. Unable to accept this reality, she held her child's cold body and went door to door, begging people to give her a medicine that could bring her child back to life. Everyone thought she had gone mad, but no one could help her. Finally, someone told her, "Go find the Buddha. Maybe he has a way." She found the Buddha, knelt before him, and cried, "Please, I beg you, save my child." The Buddha did not refuse her. He calmly said, "I can help you, but you need to find something first. Go to the village and find a mustard seed. But this mustard seed must come from a family that has never experienced death." She set off immediately. She knocked on the first door. The family was willing to give her a mustard seed. But when she asked, the woman of the house sighed and said, "We just lost our old father last year." She went to the second house, and they said, "My husband passed away 3 years ago." The third house, the fourth house, the fifth house. Every family had their own loss, their own sorrow. She walked through the entire village, but couldn't find a single family that hadn't experienced loss. Slowly, she understood. Loss wasn't a misfortune that only happened to her. It is a truth that every life must face. She wasn't someone singled out for punishment by fate. She was just like everyone else, experiencing life as it truly is. She returned to the Buddha, no longer crying. She buried her child, later became a disciple of the Buddha, and eventually attained enlightenment. This is one of the most core teachings in Buddhism, impermanence. Everything is changing, nothing is permanent. Your body is changing, your thoughts are changing, your relationships are changing. Everything you have is changing. This is not pessimism. This is fact. I used to be terrified of impermanence. I desperately tried to hold on to things. Hold on to my career. Hold on to my marriage. Hold on to my health. Hold on to everything I thought could give me a sense of security. But the tighter I held on, the more it hurt when I lost them. When I lost my career, lost my health, lost the relationships I thought were unbreakable, I felt like the sky was falling. I kept asking why? Why me? Why did these things have to happen to me? Later I understood. Asking why is meaningless. Impermanence doesn't need a reason. It is just how life works. Flowers bloom. This is not punishment. This is nature. When you truly accept impermanence, something wonderful happens. You are no longer afraid, because fear comes from resistance. When you stop resisting change, change can no longer hurt you. You'll start to cherish what you have now, because you know it won't be there forever. You'll find it easier to let go, because you know holding on is futile. You'll become more flexible, more free. Truly strong people are not those who never lose, but those who can accept loss and then keep moving forward. The second wisdom: most of your suffering is created by yourself. Imagine you've been shot by an arrow. It hurts. It is real pain. You can't avoid it. But what happens next? Most people immediately shoot a second arrow at themselves. What is the second arrow? It is your reaction to the first arrow. Why is this happening to me? I must have done something wrong for this to happen. This isn't fair. My life is over. The first arrow is given to you by life. You can't control it. But the second arrow is shot by yourself, and it often hurts more than the first one and lasts much longer. The Buddha said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. It took me a long time to understand this. When my career collapsed, that was the first arrow. It hurt, but that pain was limited. What really tortured me were the second arrows I kept shooting at myself afterward. I kept blaming myself. How could I be so stupid? How did I not see that he would betray me? I kept imagining the worst outcomes. I am done for. I'll never recover in this lifetime. I kept comparing myself to others. Why do other people's lives go so smoothly while I am so unlucky? These thoughts, each one was an arrow. Each one pierced my heart. The pain from the first arrow, maybe it could heal in a few weeks. But the pain from the second arrow, I let it torture me for years. Now, whenever I feel pain, I stop and ask myself, is this the first arrow or the second arrow? If it is the second arrow, I try to let it go. Not suppress it, not pretend it doesn't exist, but see it, acknowledge it, and then choose not to keep shooting. This isn't easy. It takes practice. But every time you successfully let go of the second arrow, you reduce one unnecessary suffering. The third wisdom: stop arguing with reality. There was a Zen master, and his disciple asked him, "Master, after you attained enlightenment, is life any different?" The Zen master replied, "Before enlightenment, when I chopped wood, I thought about carrying water. When I carried water, I thought about chopping wood. When I ate, I thought about sleeping. When I slept, I thought about tomorrow's matters. After enlightenment, when I chop wood, I just chop wood. When I carry water, I just carry water. When I eat, I just eat. When I sleep, I just sleep." The disciple said in confusion, "That doesn't sound particularly special." The Zen master smiled and said, "Yes, nothing special, but try it, and you'll find it is the hardest thing." This story tells a profound truth. Stop arguing with reality. Most of our suffering doesn't come from reality itself, but from our belief that reality should be different. I shouldn't be sick. He shouldn't have treated me that way. Things shouldn't be like this. If only I had made different choices back then. Every if only is because reality has already happened. You cannot change what has already occurred. I used to spend a long time arguing with reality. I couldn't accept that my partner betrayed me. I couldn't accept that my marriage failed. I couldn't accept that something was wrong with my body. I replayed the past over and over in my mind, imagining if I had made different choices, would things have turned out differently? This arguing consumed a huge amount of my energy, yet it didn't change anything. Later I learned a phrase: as it is. Things are the way they are. This isn't being negative. It is not giving up. It is not resigning to fate. It is a clear-headed acceptance, acknowledging what reality is, and then moving forward from that starting point. Only when you stop arguing with reality do you have the strength to change what you can change. The fourth: you are not your thoughts. One day, a man came before the Buddha and began insulting him, saying many harsh words. The Buddha just sat quietly with a peaceful smile on his face, showing no reaction at all. The man cursed for a long time, until he was tired of cursing himself, and finally stopped to ask, "Why aren't you angry? I've insulted you like this. Why don't you have any reaction at all?" The Buddha calmly asked him, "If someone gives you a gift, but you don't accept it, who does that gift belong to?" The man thought for a moment and said, "Of course it still belongs to the person who gave the gift." The Buddha smiled and said, "The same principle applies. Your anger, your insults. I don't accept them, so they still belong to you." This story tells us an important truth. You can choose not to accept, not just other people's anger and criticism, but also the thoughts in your own mind. We have thousands of thoughts drifting through our minds every day. I am not good enough. No one truly loves me. I'll never succeed. I am a loser. These thoughts feel real, very convincing, but they're just thoughts, not facts. I used to be completely controlled by my thoughts. When a negative thought appeared in my mind, I believed it, then acted on it. I thought my thought. Later I learned one thing. I am not my thoughts. I am the one who observes the thoughts. Imagine your mind is a vast sky. Thoughts are clouds drifting by. Sometimes they're white clouds, sometimes dark clouds. Sometimes there are many clouds, sometimes few. But no matter how the clouds change, the sky is always there, unaffected. When you can keep distance from your thoughts, just observe them, instead of being controlled by them, you gain an enormous freedom. The fifth wisdom, true strength, is softness. Laozi said in the Tao Te Ching, "Nothing in the world is softer and weaker than water, yet nothing can surpass it in attacking the hard and strong." It means nothing in the world is softer than water, yet it can penetrate the hardest rock. We usually think being strong means being hard, means being unyielding, means never showing weakness. But this kind of strength is actually fragile. The harder something is, the easier it breaks. Look at those big trees. In a storm, the ones most likely to snap are often the thickest, while those soft blades of grass, when the wind comes, they bend down. When the wind passes, they stand back up. I used to be that kind of rigid strength. I thought being strong meant never showing weakness, never letting others see my vulnerability, always appearing to have everything under control. But this kind of strength made me more and more tired, more and more lonely, because I didn't dare show my true self to anyone, didn't dare admit that I also had moments of fear, didn't dare seek help. In the end, when the storm came, I was broken. Later, I learned to be flexible. Flexibility isn't weakness. It is a profound wisdom. It knows when to stand firm and when to bend. It is not afraid to show vulnerability, because it knows vulnerability isn't a flaw, but a part of human nature. Truly strong people can admit their mistakes, can accept criticism without falling apart, can seek help when needed, can let others see their tears, because their strength doesn't come from pretense, but from authenticity. The sixth wisdom, your enemy is your best teacher. There was a famous monk in Tibet named Atisha. He was invited from India to Tibet to teach the Dharma. Among his entourage, there was a servant with a very bad temper who often lost his temper at him, even talking back to him in public. The disciples were all confused and asked him, "Master, you are a respected teacher. Why do you put up with this person's rudeness? Why don't you send him away?" Atisha smiled and said, "You don't understand. He is my most precious teacher. When I was in India, everyone was very respectful and reverent toward me, and I rarely had the chance to practice patience and compassion. But with him, I have the opportunity to practice every day." This story made me rethink the meaning of enemies. Those who criticize you give you the chance to see your blind spots. Those who hurt you give you the chance to practice forgiveness. Those who challenge you give you the chance to become stronger. I used to deeply resent the partner who betrayed me. I spent a long time cursing him, hoping he'd get what he deserved. But that resentment didn't hurt him at all. It was only poisoning myself. Later, I started looking at this from a different angle. It was precisely because of his betrayal that I had the chance to stop and re-examine my life. It was precisely because of that darkest night that I encountered Buddhism. I am not saying I am grateful for his betrayal. I am saying I can choose to learn something from this experience rather than just being destroyed by it. When you can turn enemies into teachers and obstacles into opportunities, you've truly become strong. The seventh wisdom: let go of the past, and you can have the present. There is a famous Zen story. Two monks were walking together on a road and came to a river. The current was strong, and a young woman was standing on the bank. She wanted to cross, but was too scared. Without a word, the old monk picked up the woman on his back, waded across the river, put her down, and continued on his way. The young monk followed behind, not saying a word the whole way, but his face looked troubled. After walking for several hours, he finally couldn't hold back anymore and asked the old monk, "Master, aren't we monks supposed to avoid contact with women? How could you carry that woman?" The old monk looked at him calmly and said, "I put her down at the riverbank. Why are you still carrying her?" This story moves me every time I think about it. Many of us are walking around carrying the burdens of the past mistakes, past hurts, past regrets, things others did to us in the past, things we did to others in the past. These burdens weigh on our shoulders, keeping us from living freely in the present. I used to carry a lot of things. I carried resentment toward my former business partner, regret over a failed marriage, and remorse for choices I made in the past. These things were heavy, pressing down on me until I could barely breathe. Buddhism teaches us that the past is already gone. It doesn't exist anywhere except in your memory. You can't change the past, but you can change your relationship with it. Letting go isn't forgetting, isn't pretending nothing ever happened. Letting go is acknowledging that the past happened, learning what needs to be learned from it, and then no longer letting it control your present. The old monk carried the woman across the river out of compassion. When it was done, he let it go and continued on his way. But the young monk carried it in his mind for hours, tormenting only himself. What are you still carrying? Maybe it is time to let it go. The eighth wisdom: you already have everything you need. There is an ancient story. A man was poor his whole life, living in a shabby little hut, worrying about making ends meet every day. After he passed away, people came to sort through his belongings and discovered that under the mattress he had slept on his entire life, there was a priceless gemstone hidden. He spent his whole life searching for wealth, not knowing that wealth had always been right beside him. This story is a metaphor about the treasure within us. Most of us are searching outward, searching for happiness, searching for strength, searching for peace, searching for meaning. We think if we had more money, a better job, a more perfect relationship, we would be happy, we would be fulfilled. But Buddhism tells us a completely different truth. You already have everything you need. Your inner Buddha nature, that pure, wise, loving essence, has never left you. It doesn't need to be created, doesn't need to be obtained. It only needs to be discovered, to be remembered. When I was at the lowest point in my life, I thought I had lost everything. I lost my career, lost my marriage, lost my health, lost everything I thought, but later I discovered that what I truly needed had never been lost. My awareness was still there. My ability to feel love was still there. My freedom to choose how to respond to life was still there. These are the real treasures, and they had always been inside me. Stop searching outward. Start looking inward. Everything you are searching for is there waiting for you. The ninth wisdom: compassion is the greatest strength. In the time of the Buddha, there was a notorious man named Angulimala. He had hurt many people, and everyone was afraid of him. One day, he saw the Buddha walking alone on the road and decided to harm him. He began to chase, but no matter how fast he ran, he couldn't catch up to the calmly walking figure ahead. He shouted breathlessly, "Stop." The Buddha turned around and said calmly, "I have already stopped. It is you who hasn't stopped." These words struck him like lightning. He suddenly understood that the Buddha wasn't talking about stopping one's feet, but stopping one's heart. Stop harming. Stop hating. Stop that thing which had turned him into a demon. He knelt before the Buddha, crying bitterly. The Buddha didn't blame him, didn't punish him, just compassionately accepted him. Later, this once evil man became a saint. This is the power of compassion. The Buddha didn't respond to threats with anger. He used compassion, an ability to see the inner suffering of others, a wisdom that doesn't treat the other as an enemy but as a lost soul. Anger can only create more anger. Violence can only create more violence. But compassion can break this cycle. It can reach the deepest part of the human heart and awaken the kindness buried by hatred and fear. But more importantly, we must also be compassionate to ourselves. Many of us are very tolerant of others, but very harsh on ourselves. We forgive others' mistakes, but don't forgive our own. We understand others' weaknesses, but don't allow ourselves to be weak. I used to be very harsh on myself, blaming myself repeatedly for every mistake, punishing myself for a long time for every failure. I thought this was being responsible for myself. Later I realized this was just hurting myself. Buddha said, if you truly love yourself, you won't hurt others. Because when you are compassionate to yourself, the pain in your heart decreases. When the pain in your heart decreases, you don't need to vent your pain onto others. So, be gentle with yourself. You've done your best. You deserve to be loved, to be forgiven, to be treated kindly, first and foremost by yourself. The 10th wisdom, your existence itself is meaning. We live in a world that constantly tells us you are not enough. You are not successful enough. You are not rich enough. You are not thin enough. You are not young enough. You are not smart enough. You haven't made enough contributions. You haven't realized your potential. These voices make us keep running, keep pursuing, keep trying to prove ourselves. We think if we reach a certain goal, we'll finally feel enough, feel worthy, feel like we can rest. But that day never comes, because there is always the next goal, the next standard, the next voice telling you, you are not enough. I worked in the corporate world for so many years, always chasing higher positions, more income, greater achievements. I thought when I reached a certain position, I would be satisfied. But every time I got there, I found there were higher mountains to climb, more things to prove. It wasn't until I lost everything that I started asking myself, what exactly am I chasing? Does my value really depend on these external things? Buddhism tells us a completely different truth. Your existence itself is the meaning. You don't need to do anything to prove your worth. You don't need to become anyone to deserve love. You don't need to achieve any goal to be qualified to live. You are already enough right now. Just like this, just as you are. A student asked his teacher, how can I become a Buddha? The teacher said, you already are a Buddha. The student said in confusion, but I don't feel like I am a Buddha. I have so many flaws, so many troubles, so many imperfections. The teacher smiled and said, those flaws, troubles, imperfections are like dust covering gold. The dust won't change the nature of the gold. You just need to wipe off the dust, and the gold will reveal itself. But the gold has always been there. That light within you has never gone out. It may be covered by doubt, covered by fear, covered by others' judgments, covered by your own criticism, but it has always been there waiting for you to see it. Stop chasing, stop proving, return to yourself. Your existence itself is a gift from this universe. Dear friend, we have walked through this journey together. 10 pieces of Buddhist wisdom, 10 doors leading to inner strength. Accept impermanence, and you will have nothing to fear. Learn not to shoot the second arrow, and you can reduce most of your suffering. Stop arguing with reality, and you'll have the strength to change what can be changed. You are not your thoughts. You are that sky. True strength is softness. Your enemy is your best teacher. Let go of the past, and you can have the present. You already have everything you need. Compassion is the greatest power, starting with compassion for yourself. Your existence itself is meaning. These aren't things you are supposed to do overnight. They're a lifetime of practice, step by step, day by day. Sometimes you'll forget, you'll fall back into old patterns. That is okay. That is life. What matters is, there is another way. You can choose that night 3 years ago. I thought my life was over. But now I know. That was actually the beginning of my real life. The Buddha spent 6 years searching for enlightenment, and in the end he discovered that what he was looking for had always been inside him. You are the same. The strength you are looking for isn't somewhere out there. It is inside you. It always has been. The Buddha once said, "You can search the entire universe for someone more deserving of your love than yourself, but you won't find them. You yourself, just like anyone else in the universe, deserve your love. Love yourself, believing." If today's content touched you, if there was a sentence that made you stop and think, that is your inner strength responding to you. That place that was touched, that is your true heart speaking. Remember that feeling, it is your compass. I am Hui Guang, an ordinary person who was once lost but has now found the way home. If I could walk out of that dark night, so can you. May you be at peace, may you find joy, and may you know how strong you truly are.